Do you believe in the Big Bang Theory? Why or why not? 11th hour starts now. The Big Bang Theory being taught in our schools, our universities, and it has so much dominated culture that we have TV shows, news magazines, articles written after this scientific theory. But does everybody believe in the Big Bang Theory? Let's take a look at what some of these college students have to say when asked if they believe in it or not. Let's check it out. Yes.
I do believe in the Big Bang Theory, but
I don't believe in it. I don't know why.
I don't think that the Big Bang Theory is a very plausible idea.
I do not believe in the Big Bang Theory. I'd like to say that categorically clear.
I don't know. There's no real evidence back then for anything, so it's hard to believe one theory. But I think that it is like some extraordinary events that started like the Earth and revolving around the sun. I don't know. There's no real facts to back it up, so I can't really believe it that much. But if there was a theory for me to choose, I would choose the Big Bang Theory.
It makes more sense to me than someone going like this and making a whole universe happen. Granted, I know it's more complex than that, but it's like I follow logic and reasoning as opposed to just faith and belief. It just always made more sense to me.
theory, but not as how people explain it. I don't believe in just blind science. So on some level, I do believe that something caused everything. Nothing is not here for no apparent reason. Something had to have caused it.
Because, I mean, there's many theories about how the world began, you know. So somebody's religions and somebody thinks about the science. Well, I think that thinking on the science side, it could happen. It might happen. I don't know.
I lean both towards Christianity and scientific. I feel like there was a reason why we're created, then I feel like it kind of was accidental, because if you think about gravity and how there's like a star, it explodes, it pulls matter closer to it, making the crust, making the core, making the earth, and then it kind of just evolves like that, because you have algae that forms the grass, and it's kind of like a slow progression towards life. I feel like that is a purposeful, beautiful accident. It wasn't meant to happen, but the fact that it did is a mystery and beauty all in itself, which is why I think that they think the Big Bang Theory is what happened, and because they say, oh, it's an accident or it was on purpose, there's really no legit definitive proof. So I think it's just a beautiful, purposeful accident. Like, we're meant to be here, but we're here accidentally, and we give ourselves purpose.
I don't think that the whole world was created, or the whole universe was created by a big bang. You know, I believe that there is a God, and I believe that this God created the universe.
Welcome to The Response, where Kathleen and I respond to some of the answers that you just heard. Let's take a look at the first one.
It makes more sense to me than someone going like this and making a whole universe happen. Granted, I know it's more complex than that, but it's like I follow logic and reasoning as opposed to just faith and belief. It just always made more sense to me.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people feel that way, is that it's just more, you know, we have faith on one side and then the Big Bang Theory on the other. That's how people usually see it. What are
Right.
your thoughts?
Well, for me, I felt like when I learned a little bit about it, that it would take more faith for me to believe that everything just came together like that. Like just, whoosh, you know, that doesn't even happen in my kitchen.
Well, for me, as a former atheist, molecular cellular developmental biologist, I really was into the Big Bang Theory. I was really into that. I was taught almost like it was fact. And you know, I really thought it was that case, but actually it is a theory. And so even though he said he wasn't into any faith and belief, there is faith and belief if you're believing in the Big Bang Theory, because it's just a theory. Let's take a look at the next answer.
That the whole world was created, or the whole universe was created by a big bang. You know, I believe that there is a God, and I believe that this God created the universe.
Well, I mean, as you can see again, you see that those who are, you know, this guy is far on the other side, which is,
Right.
I don't believe in the Big Bang, I just believe in God, and that this God made the universe, which, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's good that all of these people that we've interviewed are very honest about their opinions.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are on different journeys trying to find out the truth. And that's what I like about what we're talking about this for,
Right.
is because people have different reasons for why they believe what they believe.
Right.
We don't know if he grew up in a Christian home or not, or if it's just something that he realizes in himself, that this
Right.
can't be random.
Well, I mean, like myself, I'm a former atheist. I was really big in the Big Bang Theory, and we're going to discover some things, but I today believe that there is a God, and that this God created the universe. I have to say that's from me, but I want to discover this more because a lot of people who are listening might say, well, how could you go from one to the other? And we're going to talk more about the details in some of these other segments. Let's take a look. You, come here. I'm going to teach you a lesson. Master, what are you doing there? Oh, my apprentice. You see, I am doing an experiment. I am preparing an explosive because I was watching on TV that it says that the whole universe was made from the Big Bang. So I'm trying to make some Chinese explosives so that I can make something. The Big Bang Theory. Master, what is that? I want to stay. I want to learn from you. Yes, you have much to learn, young one. Okay, now, with this detonator, we will be able to move to safety. And then, boom, and let's see what happens. Master, wait for me. You ready? I'm ready. What are we doing again? Hey, you stay here. I don't want you to get hurt. Master, is there anything there? Is there anything there? Huh? There is nothing. No Big Bang for me? No Big Bang? Let me try again. Yes. Okay, maybe I put tinfoil inside there. This time we shall have Big Bang. Ha! Okay, young one, stay here. I'll be back. Hoot! Huh? No Big Bang? No Big Bang for me. I do bigger explosion. Big bomb. More. I need to have big explosion. More things. I sneak something in there. Okay. Big bang. What? Okay. This time, I'm hoping for Big Bang. You want to press? No, I'm going to press. Okay. Hi. What? Master, it is a chair. Big Bang for me! Big Bang for me! The Big Bang Theory, it is for real. Maybe you should go and sit on it. No. You see, that was just made from random explosion. It's junk. You don't want to sit on that. You might hurt yourself. No. We stick to the things that are created and made. Come on, use your brain. Hi. Yes, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it was so silly to be able to blow up nothing and suddenly have a chair. But that same silly thinking we are also applying if we're saying the Big Bang in the universe and then everything came from nothing. Come on now. Let me just say one thing to you. No Big Bang for you!
The Big Bang Theory, I can remember learning a little bit about it in school, where all this matter comes together and just, and there we have the universe or the universes. And here there's planets, there's one over here, one over there, there's the sun, and it's all just spread out, but they're all in like a sphere shape. And to me, it's kind of like if you took a rock and you put it together with another rock, would it become circular? Would it be like a sphere? Like, it's almost harder for me, actually, it takes more faith for me to believe in the Big Bang Theory than it does to believe that there's a God that created all this. Because how did everything turn out so perfect with spheres? And then the earth has water. The sun is all fiery hot and heats up the earth. It just doesn't make sense to me. And so I can remember just thinking about that, like, wow. And then what about matter, right? The matter that was made. Who made the matter? So if nothing was there on the universe, who made matter? I mean, it had to come from somewhere, right? So, okay, where do they explain that? So for me, when it comes to the Big Bang, it doesn't make sense, and it takes more faith to believe in the Big Bang Theory than it does to believe that there's a God that created the heavens, created the earth, and the Bible even talks about it and how it was done. So for people who are looking to find out, it's right there. Now, I didn't always believe in God. I wasn't a person, I knew there was a God, but I didn't know the way. And as I started to research this stuff, I would find it in the Bible, how God created the heavens and the earth and the stars. It just makes more sense. So if you're wondering about the Big Bang Theory, I'd encourage you, do some research and seek the Lord and see what truly is the truth.
I want to talk to you about some of the theories, like the Big Bang Theory and the theory of evolution. Why do I think that there is not much validity with the theory of evolution and the Big Bang Theory? Despite my background as a scientist. The reason why is if you mix biology and statistics, the mathematics just doesn't make sense. I want to invite you on a journey to discover with me, is the theory of evolution and the Big Bang Theory a plausible or probable theory? Well, first let's talk about statistics. Statistics is seeing just by random chance what are the odds of something happening. The odds of being struck by lightning in any given year in America for any person is 1 in a million. That means that you have very slim chances out of 1 out of a million people will be struck with lightning. That is the same thing as 10 to the 6th power, or the number 10 with 6 zeros behind it. Well, the odds of winning the lottery, let's say Powerball, is 1 in 292 million. Wow. But what exactly are the chances of life coming from nothing and just being a random occurrence? Physicist Paul Davies has said spontaneous generation of life by random molecular shuffling is ludicrous and an improbable event. What does he mean? Just to give you some background, our body is made of 4 main organic compounds. That would be carbohydrates, protein, nucleotides, and fat. Let's zoom in just a little bit and just take a look at one of them called protein. Now everyone knows about protein, okay? It's not too hard to understand. But protein is very molecular. And at a molecular level, a simple strain of protein would only be about 150 basic units of something called amino acids. Just at random, the chances of 150 amino acid forming together to make a functional protein would be 10 to the 74th power. That would be equivalent to the number 10 with 74 zeros following after it. That's a pretty big number. So you're saying, well, what's the problem with that? Mathematicians have said that anything over 10 to the 50th power is an improbable and an unlikely event, virtually impossible. So according to most mathematicians, the probability of a single protein forming just from random events is not likely. Let's just take a cell. It's the simplest form of life. There's nothing that's more simple than a cell that we call life or living. The probability of one single cell, the most basic one, is the 10 to the 40,000th power. That would be the same thing of saying the number 10 with 40,000 zeros behind it. 0, 0, 0. My friends, that is way beyond 10 to the 50th. And so this is not a probable or a plausible theory. Let's take a further look into the Big Bang Theory. What are the mathematical odds of that? According to scientists and mathematicians today, the statistics of the Big Bang Theory occurring and everything just coming together is a Google to the Googleth power. That is a very big number. A person could spend their entire life writing out that number and they wouldn't finish. They would die trying. And here's another funny problem. There are only 10 to the 80th power of atoms in the entire universe. That means there's not much to work with if we're saying 10 to the 40,000th or Googleth to the googliest of power. There's not much to work with such odds. That's like saying I'm going to build the Empire State Building just from 3 Legos. Welcome to the Bible Rubics, where we're here to find out what God has to say about the subject at hand. Well, let's talk about the Big Bang Theory. What are the implications of the Big Bang Theory being true? I mean, let's just think about this. If the Big Bang Theory is true, then everything that we see on this earth, everything that we see with our eyes, even ourselves, is just a random mistake. It's just a tailwind spin of a giant explosion that really even the explosion had no meaning. We're just here to exist. Why we exist, we don't even know if the Big Bang Theory is true. You see, there's some things that ever since this theory has been so promoted in culture, it's done many things. It's made people feel insignificant. For example, myself, I'm a former atheist. I'm a molecular biologist. And I was a firm believer in the Big Bang Theory. I was a firm believer in just the randomness of everything that we see around ourselves. And I lived my life that way. I lived my life like, there's really no meaning in my life. It's just kind of a drab. And if there's any meaning in my life, then I have to make it. And it's what I make of my life that will make that meaning. But it was hard. I couldn't make enough meaning in my life. And I found myself falling short of making meaning in my life. And it left me feeling insignificant, depressed, and alone. So if there is no God and the Big Bang Theory is just random, then that doesn't mean too much for us. But what about another theory? There is another theory, and the theory is that there was a creator or someone made this universe. What does the Bible say? That's actually the theory that is stated inside the Holy Bible. It says in Genesis chapter 1, verses 1, it says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters." Well, this theory, you say, what evidence do you have of this theory? Well, if there was indeed intelligent designer behind the whole tapestry of this universe, then you would see the evidence of detailed organization and evidence that someone created the world and that it just didn't happen. Well, just take a look at the scenery behind me. You can see that there's buildings, it's a street, and it's very highly organized. The naked eye looks at that and says, somebody made that. That's not just a random situation. Our eyes are trained to see things that are designed versus just random. Well, then you say, well, the whole earth, it looks so random. Look at a jungle, per se. It looks just like a random mess. Yes, it can look that way. But at the molecular level, we don't see that type of evidence. If you just zoom in into one cell inside of a tree, per se, the amazing amount of organization that you would find is evidence that there is God. Let me explain. There is things like actin, dynein, which is proteins that carry other proteins and other cell parts around in the cell. It's like a little highway and byways. You'll discover a whole nother universe inside of just one cell. It's evidence that there is a creator if you look at things at the molecular level. And so if there is a creator, what does that mean? That means that there is a meaning in your life. There's something deeper. There's a purpose and a plan, that not something that you have to muster up, but it's something that has been mustered up for you. You just have to find it. And when you find it, something in your life is going to change. Suddenly, it will all just make sense. That's what happened for me. As a big lover of the Big Bang Theory and former atheist, totally hating God and anything to do with that, when I came to know Christ and I came to know God, everything came into perspective. And I suddenly understood the purpose and the plan of God in my life. And He has a plan for your life. Well, if God is real, can I know Him? Can I have a relationship with Him? Absolutely. It says in the Bible that we can know this God. It says in the Bible, it says that in John chapter 1, verses 10, it says, He was in the world, and the world was made through Him, and the world did not know Him. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God, to those who believe in his name. So that means is that the one who made this universe, we can know him ourselves. We can walk into a relationship with him because he wants that for us. He wants us to be reunited with him. And we can do that. How I did it, I just said, Jesus, if you're real, I receive you and I believe in you. And he came into my life in a supernatural way. I want to pray for you. If you're saying, I've never had a relationship with God, or I'm not sure about this, I want to know what this is like, I'm going to pray for you to have this experience right now. Jesus, I'm praying for those who are listening right now, and I'm praying, Lord God, for your spirit and the presence and the power of God to be here right now. And I'm praying right now, Lord Jesus, we ask you and we receive you right now. Do it, my friend. Just, Jesus, I receive you and I believe in you, and I'm asking you, God of the universe, to show me the meaning and the purpose of my life. I'm asking this in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. If you pray that prayer, would you go ahead and just email the email below, or even give us a call at the number below? We would love to pray with you. And until next time, we're going to see you, but you have some decisions to make on whether you believe in the Big Bang Theory or not. So until next time, we'll see you on the next 11th Hour.
We want to thank you for watching the 11th Hour, sponsored by Awakening the Nations. Awakening the Nations Ministry is a non-for-profit ministry reaching people through TV, radio, and events.
Our goal is to reach people across the U.S. and the nations with the powerful, life-changing gospel message. Right now, we're doing that through our real-life radio show, which is on 16 stations here in the U.S. and in Canada. Our hope is to go across this country and, of course, abroad. We're also on this TV show reaching people now, but we need to expand, and that's our desire, and we can't do it without you. Thank you so much for your support.
For your donation of $25 or more, Ann and Kathleen would like to send you their new book, Evidence, where they feature people who did not believe in God, but had an encounter that changed their lives. These stories will encourage your faith and bring hope to your situation. If you call now, they will also send you their 4-CD variety pack from their real-life radio show. On the CDs, you will hear life-changing stories from people who were raised from the dead, free from addiction, those who struggle with their sexual identity, and women who are victims of sex trafficking but escape. Call now to make your donation at 877-480-4477. That's 877-480-4477. Or you can make a donation online at awakeningthenations.com and click the donate button, and in the message box type the number 11.
Thank you again so much for your support, and together we will be awakening the nations.